Welcome to the Moonlight Tales. Before we begin, take a moment to get comfortable. Settle in, breathe slowly, and let the day fade away. Tonight's tale is called Dancing Stars. You'll hike a quiet forest trail at dusk to a small meadow beneath an open sky. Set a simple camp and kindle a gentle fire. As tea warms your hands and crickets begin their chorus, the Milky Way unfurls overhead. One by one, meteors trace soft, bright lines across the night, and you breathe with the rhythm of the flames, letting the day fall away until sleep finds you beneath the dancing stars. Now, close your eyes and still your mind as we begin our tale. You have been hiking all afternoon. The sun lowered behind the ridgeline a while ago, softening the day into a quiet blue. The path is narrow and sure under your boots, weaving through fir, hemlock, and cedar. Moss covers the fallen logs like a green quilt. The air smells clean, damp with the memory of earlier rain. Your pack rests evenly between your shoulders. Nothing pulls, nothing pinches. You keep an easy pace, a rhythm you can maintain without thinking. Step, breathe. Step, breathe. The forest accepts your passing without comment. A branch releases a bead of water that lands on your sleeve and rolls toward your wrist. You lift your eyes and see the canopy begin to open in patches. The light is changing from afternoon to evening, thinner, gentler, and cool. A few late birds pass overhead, wings cutting a clean line through the air. Far off, a creek keeps its own steady time. Though you cannot see it, you imagine it flowing through dark rocks and ferns, slipping past roots and fallen branches, content to move on without hurry. You follow the trail as it climbs. The slope is steady, not demanding. For a moment you pause and turn, looking out through the trees toward a long valley where mist gathers like fog over water. Your chest rises and falls, and there is no pressure to go faster than this moment asks of you. You move on. The daylight takes on a faint silver, and the shadows soften at the edges. You find the side path you were looking for, marked by a small stack of stones and a narrow opening in the undergrowth. You brush aside a branch and step through. The trees part almost at once, and you step into a small meadow, set like a bowl at the crest of the slope. The grass is springy underfoot and cool. Wild flowers dot the far edge in small constellations of white and yellow, their faces already closed for the night. The horizon stretches beyond the meadow into low, dark hills. Above them, the sky opens like a vast canvas, waiting to be admired. You take a slow turn, taking in the beauty of your surroundings in the light of the moon that has risen to keep you company. The ring of trees stands around the clearing like a quiet audience, tall and protective. You spot a circle of stones where someone once had a careful fire. Beside it, a long silvered log makes a natural bench. The idea arrives in your body before you form the words. This is where you will stay. You shrug the pack from your shoulders and set it down, the weight leaving you with a sense of lightness that makes you smile without thinking. You stand with your hands on your hips and breathe, the evening air filling your chest, the temperature dropping in a way that welcomes the warmth of a fire. You can already picture it, a small cone of light from a steady flame, the sky growing darker until the first stars appear. The hush that comes when night takes the lead. The area by the stone circle is perfect for camping. Flat, protected, yet with a full view of the night sky. You begin the simple work of making a home for the night. You unbuckle straps, unroll the small tent, and feed the poles through their sleeves. The fabric snaps once in the breeze, and then settles. The stakes go in the soil with a reassuring firmness. You step back and see it there, a modest shelter, clean and ready. It looks right in its place. Inside, you lay out your sleeping pad and roll your sleeping bag halfway open so it can breathe. You straighten the small pillow and feel a quiet happiness at the thought of it later. You set your headlamp on the tent's inner loop and check the spare batteries in your pocket. Everything exactly where it should be. Turning your attention to the old fire ring, you find the stones cool and dry. You kneel at the edge and brush leaves aside, then build a small foundation of twigs and paper-thin bark. You place a few dry sticks in a loose pile, leaving room for air to move through. You add 2 thicker pieces of seasoned wood at the sides, angled so the flame will find them when it is time. The first flame is shy. It licks the bark and hesitates. You lean close and breathe softly. The ember brightens and catches. The flame climbs, finds the lower sticks, and begins to knit its small light into the shape of a steady fire. You add 1 slender stick and then another. Careful, patient. The fire thanks you by finding its own voice. Warmth touches your face. The evening air cools against the back of your neck. A comfortable balance you feel in your shoulders and arms. You sit on the log bench and rest your hands over your knees. The fire reflects in your eyes and paints the nearby grass in a low gold. You set a small pot on a stable stone near the coals and pour in water from your bottle. A handful of tea leaves rests in a tin in your pack. You crumble a few into the water and watch them darken and release their scent. The sky, which still held a suggestion of color, now leans decisively toward night. A scatter of early stars appears above the far trees. You do nothing but notice them, admire them. You step to the tent and pull on a jacket. You feel the surface of it against your forearms and the way it holds warmth at the chest. Back at the fire, you pour the tea into a cup and let it cool enough to sip. The flavor is clean, earthy, and calming. You drink slowly, feeling the warmth travel through you like a kind thought. Around the meadow, the creatures of the night begin their chorus in a measured way, as if each must wait for its turn. A few crickets, then more. A moth circles through the warmth of the fire and disappears back into the dark, dusting the air with the faintest sound of wings. You sit cross-legged and hold your cup in both hands. Your breathing slows, your jaw relaxes. The muscles behind your eyes soften. The day begins to fold, one careful crease at a time. When you look up again, the sky has gathered itself into a field of quiet light. Stars seem to see in the darkness from a hidden hand just beyond sight. One by one, and then many, they arrive. The Milky Way stretches from one side of the clearing to the other, like a silver river. You tilt your head back and let your neck rest. The cool air moves across your throat. You can feel the contrast of the fire on your cheeks and the night on your skin, both honest and kind. You trace the familiar shapes in the northern sky, the three bright points of Vega, Deneb, and Altair, forming the summer triangle. Cassiopeia arched like a tilted W, the handle of the Big Dipper sweeping toward Arcturus. A faint smudge marks Andromeda, a distant island of stars. These landmarks steady your gaze, a gentle map to wander by. You lie back on a folded blanket near the fire and cross your ankles. The ground is steady below you. The sky is steady above you. It is enough to be in between. It happens without warning, as it always does. A streak of starlight cuts through the darkness and across the night sky, swift and clean, then vanishes. You breathe out and feel the smile come without effort. Another follows, shorter, a quick flare like a match struck and blown out in the same moment. You sit up and tend the fire, nudging a coal into place with a stick and adding a small log on its side so the flame can climb slowly. From your pack you take a small handful of nuts and dried fruit, a piece of bread, and a little wedge of cheese wrapped in paper. You eat a bit and then pause to look up again. A third streak crosses half the sky, long and clear, and leaves a faint trail that fades as you watch. The air is cooler, but your core is warm. You shift your position and feel the clean weight of the day leaving your legs and back. You drink a little more tea and set the cup down atop a book at your side. You let your attention widen until the space around you is one thing. Fire at the edge of vision, keeping the night kind, grass cool under your shoulders, stars twinkling overhead. At the fringe of the trees, two small eyes shine briefly and then disappear as a deer steps through the shadow line and continues along the far side of the clearing. You feel no alarm, only the small gift of sharing the meadow. You follow a line of stars until it touches the treetops, and then track it back to the other side. You watch a satellite move slowly, a tiny bead crossing the sky with patient certainty. For a moment you picture all the voices and stories inside that little light. The whole human plan looking down and not interrupting this night at all. You return your gaze to the older lights that need no story from you. You sit up and hold your hands to the heat again. The skin on your palms tightens and loosens as the warmth moves through it. You rotate your wrists and flex your fingers. The motions are small and gentle. You place another log parallel to the first, so the coals can cradle both. Flame moves between them like a soft ribbon. You take a slow walk around the clearing's inside edge, not to look for anything, only to feel your feet under you. You step lightly, one pace, then another. Your shoulders drop further. You breathe in the scent of smoke and pine and night, ancient and familiar, carrying fond memories. You sit again and feel the support of the earth through the blanket. You let your head tip back and your eyes soften. The night has found its deep color now, a soft black that holds light like a friend. Crickets keep a familiar rhythm that lulls the forest into rest. 3 shooting stars appear in close succession, one left, one right, one high overhead, each more mesmerizing than the last. As you continue to gaze at the sky, your mind slows. Images of the day pass gently, the glint of water on a leaf, the feel of your boot finding a flat stone in the stream, the angle of the sun through the last stand of cedar before this clearing. Each memory arrives and fades like a wave meeting the shore and returning. You stand and step into the tent to check your nest for the night. You slide your sleeping bag fully open and touch the inside with your palm. It has saved a little warmth for you. You place the small pillow at the top and fold the corner of the bag back so you can slip in easily. The headlamp rests exactly where you left it, ready if you need it, unnecessary for now. You step back out and sit by the fire one more time. The stars overhead feel closer, as if the night has leaned in to keep you company. Your eyes water slightly from the smoke and the cool, and in that blur the fire becomes a simple glow, steady and red-orange at the core. You rake the coals a little flatter so the heat will last while you settle in. You place a last small log on the top and wait for the flame to catch, then dim to a rich, quiet bed of light. When you lie back again, you watch the part of the sky that meets the hill. The shooting stars still come. One of them is long and slow, bright enough to leave a brief tail. You follow it with your eyes until it is gone. You think of what a meteor really is. Dust and stone, the size of a seed or a pebble, burning bright for a heartbeat as it meets the air. Something small, traveling a long way, becoming light at the end. You consider how many lives are like this, quiet for years, then briefly luminous in someone else's sky. And how often we are the sky for one another, holding room for those brief, beautiful crossings. A second meteor arcs lower, its path gentle and graceful. You feel the truth of it settle without words. You do not have to grasp at wonder for it to stay. It visits, it moves on, and still the night remains full. You are part of that fullness. Steady ground, steady breath, steady gaze, while the dancing stars write their short, bright lines and let the darkness be tender again. You rise and step into the tent. The air inside is a few degrees warmer. You sit and untie your boots, then place them neatly by the flap. You slip into the sleeping bag and pull it up to your chest, then to your shoulders. The fabric feels smooth against your skin. You roll to your side and let your knees draw in slightly, a posture that communicates what language does not need to handle. Your face relaxes, your tongue rests, your breath moves in and out like the slow tide of a sheltered bay. You listen as the fire outside shifts to a deeper hush. An owl calls once, far away, and crickets seem to lower their song, as if mindful of your rest. You are safe. You are warm. Your tent harbors you. The clearing holds you. The night holds the clearing. The sky holds the night. Nothing more is required. Everything is in order, just as it should be. There is no rush to sleep. If it wants to take a few breaths more, you'll give them with ease. There is no schedule. There is only the rhythm that fits you. Thoughts become lighter, like small leaves carried in a gentle wind. They pass, and you do not reach for them. You feel the weight of the sleeping bag as a friendly embrace. You feel the pad under you, soft yet supportive. You feel your heart slow to meet the pace of the meadow, the rhythm of the night. The last image you register before closing your eyes is the color of fire through the tent wall. A soft amber glow, gentle and warm. As your mind drifts closer to sleep, you see the blanket of stars once more, in your mind's eye. Somewhere outside, brief trails of light still stitch the darkness, quiet, bright, and kind, as you drift softly and surely into rest beneath the dancing stars. And with that, dear dreamer, our tale for tonight comes to an end. I hope it brought you some small measure of peace and comfort. Until our next tale unfolds, I bid you good night and sweet dreams.